homework? Good girl. I'm going to ask you every reviews. Did you actually turn it on or you just lying? You're doing your reels thing. Okay. Guys, stay with me, please. So, in case you're not aware, again, I had this horrifying feeling of yesterday. I hit play on the video and I said, man, I'm speaking so fast. Why do I do that? Like, immediately, close window. This is scary. I don't know who this fellow is. He's scary. Close window immediately. This is how sad my life is. So I hung out with kids. I went home. And I had to go to the post office. Now the AMC is next to the post office. So I went to the AMC yesterday. And this movie was playing. It's called Captain Marvel. So it was a 4 o'clock show on the IMAX. So I go in, settle down, 4 o'clock. The movie begins after the previews, after the trailers. 4:25, 25 minutes of previews. The movie starts and till 5:15. So the domain you're interested in is 4:25 to 5:15, which is 40 minutes. I probably caught 15 minutes of the movie because I was just dozing throughout, in and out. I got up at 5:15 and said, I can pretty much kind of figure out what's going on because off and on I've been dozing, but it's not fun anymore, and I just walked out of the theater. I went downstairs, sat in my car till about 6 o'clock. I was reading the news on my cell phone. 6 o'clock, I just drove out, came home. That's how sad my life is. But to be clear, I probably will watch it again on IMAX because I need to. Everybody's watching it. But the thing is this, because the weekend is over, the theater was pretty empty. And it was a 4 o'clock show too, so not very many people. And the only reason I kind of felt bad is the last 2 movies I watched, I've had a good experience. That is virtually nobody was using their cell phone. It is so frustrating when people in the theater, dark theater, are using their cell phones. You know what I'm talking about. They take out their phone and check. That is rude and impolite. When I watched a couple of movies with Nava and Fino, I actually say, put your cell phone away! I actually shout. Yeah, in the theater, in front with everyone. Dark theater, I actually say, put your phone away! Yeah. Like, hey, you're ruining, it says clearly, put your phone away, you're ruining the experience. I can't take it. I'm paying good money. I want to have a good experience.
What else is on?
Sorry? Anyway, guys, shh. Here are a couple of things. Everybody, here are a couple of things. So this is your first multiple choice take-home test. I said this before to the other class. I'm saying this again. The deadline for this is tomorrow. At 3 p.m. tomorrow, this is due. Okay? You can study as much as you want before you take the test. But during the test, you cannot peek at the Bible. You can study as much as you want. You can learn the trig identities you want. First page of the Bible. Memorize definitions, derivative formulas, integral formulas, as much as you want before you start. But you're mimicking a test. You cannot peek at the solution, at the Bible or the solutions during the test, even if the temptation is strong. That's unethical. You'll have a bunch of kids like Eunice, Marzu doing it honestly, and you're getting these inflated grades, which are not even true. Completely bogus scores. So have a sense of perspective, or your character matters. I'm letting you know there's a certain student whom I do not trust in the other class because he has cheated before on tests. I'm not going to trust him at all. When character is lost, everything is lost. Okay, so I'm going to do a couple of questions on yesterday's homework because as I've said before, I'll say it again. The number one reason, Mr. Psychosi, you want to be regular in your homework is this: the questions repeat themselves. So I was looking at the test, I'm about to hit send to. I said, oh my God, this is just like yesterday's homework questions. But when you don't do the homework, you're not getting exposed to those questions. So absolutely, to be best prepared for today's test, make sure yesterday's homework was done, completed, and checked with Ms. Marzu. As I said yesterday in the Google Classroom, there are times she can't answer the question, but she'll run it by me. Is this how I need to figure it out? All right? So let me just quickly go over some of the questions on yesterday's homework. Oh, and again, I'm emphasizing this, please. Tomorrow, 3 p.m., the homework is due. You do not have it done, you get a 0, or whatever you turn it. That's all you get. Another thing is this. The only exceptions I permit are these emergencies, as in, we had to rush X person to the hospital. I fell ill. I have a fever, whatever. Those I accept. The other thing is like we had to go to the airport and I came home at 10 or 11. I understand that. Now, these are unacceptable excuses. I had this project due and I was working on that project. I don't care. My class is as important as the other class. The second one is I had this AP Lit assignment done and I was up till this thing. I didn't get time. And the third most important thing, I know you'll chuckle, but it's not acceptable. I'm sorry, Rama, I began the homework and then I just slept. Yeah, that's your thing. You sleep, that's fine. But whatever's due is due. It is not acceptable. You just said, I slept. That's Mr. Sidden's favorite excuse. I just slept. Just letting you know. All right. All right, guys. So we're discussing. Somebody knocking. Not your grade.
In your class, it wasn't.
Yeah. Okay. I know paralysis from last year. Anyway, have a look at that problem, please. You don't need to write much. You don't need to write much unless you want to. But the challenge with this problem is this. We do not know the integral of tan squared. Students with weaker skills may think it's sec. No, it's the other way around. The integral of sec squared is tan. There is no formula for the integral of tan squared. So the way around it is, I say, page 1 of the Bible. There is an identity that goes 1 plus tan squared is sec squared. You need to memorize that. It's a Pythagorean identity. So if you're writing notes, write in the notes column. But that still doesn't answer the question. So let me show you how to do it. But I need tan squared. So tan squared is sec squared minus 1. Now can I integrate both terms? Okay, that's how that problem is done. This was straightforward. Guys, so average means 1 over b minus a. Exactly, there's a problem like that. Here's a common error you kids would make. You forget to bring the 1 over b minus a in every step. Just be attentive, please. There's a question just like that. Let's do a couple of review assignments on volume. So I'm doing there are quite a few area volume problems. But I want you to relax. We just got off the test like a month ago. So in general, area problems are done this way. Write this down, please. I need the bounds, A to B. I'm giving you general principles. They're often either x-intercepts, or, pay close attention. If I have two functions, how do I find the bounds? Set them equal. The points of intersection will give you the bounds. That's something you need to remember. But otherwise, it's just top minus bottom, or right minus left, depending on the nature of the problem. It's top minus bottom, or right minus left. That's all there is for an area problem. For a volume problem, this is how it works. Let's assume it's a rotation problem. So what's my factor outside? Pi, don't forget the pi. It's A to B. Okay? And then it's just, depending on the problem, it's a solid or hollow. It's either just top minus bottom square for the radius, or it could be pi integral A to B, outer radius minus inner radius. So f square minus g square. And each of these are top minus bottom, whatever. You don't have to think too hard. That's the rotation problem. And then I'm letting you know you have a cross-section problem in today's test. So if you have a cross-section problem, what do I write outside? No, the correct answer is depends, correct? So if it's a cross-section problem, I'm just going to write like that, and then integral A to B. And then I like this formula, this expression, that's how it is in the Bible, which is dimension square. Whatever the dimension is. There is no outer inner. There's no outer inner. It's just top minus bottom, or right minus left, and we're done. Okay? And then, guys, look at me. See if this comes back. If you're going in the y direction, remember you have a lower bound and upper bound. Is that clear? And then you go right minus left. And don't forget to solve for xf, xg. Is that clear? If you're going bottom to top. Another thing, yeah, I think that pretty much captures it. Okay, let's go with this problem. So it says the region in the first quadrant. So it is smart to know, okay, this is like first quadrant. This is more. The region in the first quadrant, bounded by the graph sec x equals pi over 4. And it's bounded by the x-axis, And it says, what is the volume of the solid generated? Now, I understand your challenge, but Rama, I don't even know what it looks like. It doesn't matter. If you don't know what it looks like, apply regular principles, you'll be fine. Trust me on this. Sometimes I'll give you crazy functions. You're not even expected to graph it. You should be able to just figure out, how do we always do it? So let's set it up. So V equals, it's a rotation problem. Pi, lower limit, make a guess. 0, upper limit, pi over 4. What's the general volume function here? Top minus bottom. So what should I write? Minus 0. So is that sec square? And we know the integral of sec square. Tan, upper limit, lower limit, the answer shows. Not a difficult problem at all. Okay. Because these are general principles. Okay, that was easy. Okay, let's go with this problem if this will alarm some of you. Copy down that expression, please. Copy that. Especially that expression. Here's the reason why some kids came so close to answering the question and then got lost saying, I don't know what's going on in this problem. Again, for your own sakes, Mr. Psycho Z, do your homework in general, even if it's not a test. You need to get exposed to these problems. So it says 1 to 2 f of x minus c dx equals 5. And yesterday we did a lesson. For these kind of expressions, we simply use u sub. Use u sub. So u equals x minus c. Therefore, du equals, c is a constant. Just 1 dx. So your upper limit is, I know it looks weird, it's okay. So your upper limit is 2 minus c. Your lower limit is 1 minus c. The function becomes f of u du. Now here's where kids got lost. Yeah, thank you. Okay, here's where kids got lost. Now usually this is given in a problem. Look at me. Usually when you do u sub, they say do u sub. Yes? Yes? If you got lost, you forgot we have equal to 5. It's an equation. Students forgot to bring down that 5. Now get ready to kick yourselves. What's this? I need this value. Okay, that's what I know. Read the question. Read the question. What we need. What we need. Isn't that this guy? Says 5. Only because you forgot it. It's an equation. It needs to come down. So the answer is just 5 in 1 second. Do u sub and the answer shows up. This was an equation, not an expression. Okay, this was an easy problem. Oh, that was an easy problem. Guys, in general, what is the formula? We're not writing anything. What is the formula for area of a polar function? 1/2 theta 1 theta 2 r square. Is that clear? But this one I just said only set up the integral. Here's the reason. Because if you have 1 minus cos theta whole square, if I were to open this up, will I get 1 minus 2 cos theta plus cos square theta? Yes? I have to integrate. Pay close attention. We have never done, it's not part of AP calculus, how to integrate cos square. So I had to give it up. I looked at the problem. Now you may say, but Rama, then how did it appear on the AP exam? Yes? It was not. No, in 1985 it was part of it. They took it out. So that's why when I saw that problem, I said, oh my God, my kids don't know how to integrate because it's not part of the curriculum. So I said, okay, only set up the integral. So you can either do regular. Guys, here's what we do for polars. First, sketch a figure. Be smart. The kid's aiming for a 4 or 5. If you can use symmetry, use symmetry. This problem, you can totally use symmetry. So I remember the answer. It was like 2 times 1/2 integral 0 to pi. 0 to pi symmetry kicks in. And then 1 minus cos theta squared d theta. Easy problem. It is not incorrect to go 0 to 2 pi. You'll be fine. But it's smarter to use symmetry when you can. Okay, that was an easy problem. Okay, I'm just checking for understanding here. I'm checking very basic skills. I'm telling you the kinds of errors the lower level kids make. I'm not trying to shame anyone. I'm just telling you like, oh my God, skills-wise, maybe you should study more. Nobody speaks. This is a piecewise function. We have to break up the integral. Here's my simple question. I have to integrate cos pi x. So let me speak slowly again. We have to integrate, not take the derivative of, we have to integrate cos pi x. So my question to the class is, don't speak. What's the integral of cos pi x? I'm going to pick on one of you. What's the integral of cos pi x? Ms. Hanson. And you just found the derivative. Ms. Nuro. Can you give it a big hand, please? So, please understand, study of formulas. I'm sending you another fresh copy of the Bible. I'm sending you the complete Bible. I'm sending you a complete Bible. In other words, the Old and the New Testament. All right, it's semester 1, semester 2. Guys, please pay attention. So, the integral of cosine is regular sine. the integral of cosine is regular sine. And don't forget, we divide, Miss Hanson, we divide by the derivative of the linear expression. So it's divided by pi. All right? And then it's an easy problem. Okay, we discussed this, or we ran out of time. Let's kind of set up the problem again. So I don't know if I discussed this, but for Riemann sum questions, we usually have what is not given. So we can make a table though. So, did we do this in class? No. So, if you look at the figure, the lower bound on the table is 1, the upper bound is 2. Now, watch what Mr. Arnold's argument was. He says, Rama, we have to use the trapezoidal rule. Why will I waste time making the table? Don't I know the area of a trapezoid? Average of the parallel sides times distance of the parallel side. Do you see his argument? Why is he wrong? Mr. Auraj.
Because if you use the divisions that they give you, it would be more accurate.
Thank you. What he's trying to tell you, if you're not paying attention, is they gave you 2 more divisions. You're not using those divisions. Like you're not following instructions. So, thank you, Mr. Auraj. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 4/3, this is 5/3. There's a girl in the other class, she's called Ms. Estrada. She's adorable. So she did not really know how to do the problem. And I said, well, what's that of the trapezoid? And she says, 1/3. I said, how do you know that? She says, because Hannah got that. She had remembered. How adorable was that? She remembered what the thing is. I don't really know how to do this problem, but I remember that was in the solution. Okay, so that's why I'm going over in class. So again, these 2 are from the figure, and those 2, the question says use those 2 other figures. Oh, by the way, so they give you a function y equals x squared, so you need to be alive. Can we now plug it in to get the table? So 1 squared, second guy, third guy, last guy. Okay, now here's the challenge. We're using trapezoidal rule. So it was there on yesterday's homework. We're using trapezoidal rule. Oh, it's there on today's homework too. Okay, because it repeats. Guys, the AP exam, like if I get a 98%, I think Fino or Nava, they were saying, man, you're badass if you get a 98% in your, like I had a 97% my first year. I taught his brother. So how can you get a 97%? Because there are other teachers who are veteran teachers, they're like a 50%, 40%. And I said, no, I just do a lot of practice. I'm not a very good teacher. I just give my students a lot of practice. So there's a question like this the following year. Like, hey, if you did your homework and you understood how you can do that problem in today's homework. But you didn't study the solutions, you'll be lost. Okay, anyway. So we're going to do trapezoidal rule. Integral 1 to 2 f of x dx is approximately. Simple check. Write me the first expression. Nobody speaks. And please don't write the expression because Hannah did it this way. Make sure you understand how the trapezoidal rule works. Ms. Rani. It'll be crazy weird, but tell me, assume for a second this is monkey, donkey, panther, orangutan, the bunch of numbers. How does the trapezoidal rule work? Do any math you need to. Do the math you need to. $709? Okay, Mr. Dan, if you can, correct her.
No, I did not.
How does the trapezoidal rule work? Ms. Rios?
1 plus 16.
Miss Rani, pon atención. Go on, Ms. Rios.
1 plus 16.
Because Ms. Rani is the average of the parallel sides. For a trapezoid, the heights are those guys. Over 2 times,
1 minus 43.
or rather, 4 over 3 minus 1. If you do 1 minus 4 over 3, you'll get a negative number. So guys, you're subtracting this way. You can do mental math. What's 4 over 3 minus 1? 1/3. And that's how Ms. Estrada cutely said 1/3. Is that clear? I know this was a tedious problem. Can you see, you use a fraction trick there. So you get 25 ninths, divided by 2, 25 18ths times 1/3. And required you to simplify. Okay. But hey, they expect it. Can you see the final answer? You have to take LCM to get an actual answer. It's tedious. But I'm just sharing with you, yeah, the problem can be done. The problem can totally be done. Oh, just checking skills. Don't get alarmed. Arc sine just means sine inverse. Is that clear? Which integration method do we use? Nobody speaks. I just need to integrate sine inverse. Which method do I use? Miss Dong. Louder? Parts. But parts, we have a problem. Parts requires an F and a G dash. I have only one of them. So G dash is 1. Keep that in mind. G dash is 1 and the answer will show up. That was easy. Oh, in general, so I emphasized the AB class today, but yesterday I was emphasizing the BC class. In general, if you are, I'm speaking so to the board, please. If you have to take derivatives of an expression that uses logs, see if you can use a log rule first. I did this in the other class. The other class was amazed, like, oh my god, this is super fast. So in your notes, again, use log and E rules if possible. First, before even doing the problem. No, we're not doing that. I'm making a harder problem. So observe this. You'll say, oh my god, that is a crazy smart way to do the problem. I have to take the derivative of this. I'm doing a problem like we have never done before. I'm taking the derivative of this. Okay. Now convince yourselves how tedious and complicated the actual problem is if you worked it out this way. Look at me. What's the derivative of ln monkey? So I need to take the reciprocal of this times quotient rule. It's a lot of work. Now observe how elegant this is. I'm going to use a log rule. So I'm going to expand this. Who remembers from IN3/precalc what log rule can I use? Tell me what to write. No, let's be even clever. I can write ln2x as ln2 plus ln x. Product rule. That's even faster. Oh, Ariana is absent today. Okay, observe, that's a product rule. Now I'm going to use the quotient rule. What am I writing on the bottom? Minus ln 1. They stay together. Okay. Now observe, now it's 5 seconds. I want to do f dash. What's the slope? 0, it's a constant. What's the slope there? 1 over x. Now regular rule, chain rule. Negative 1 over 1 minus x squared times. How easy was that? 10 seconds if you use a log rule carefully. Okay, so please be alert. Okay, please be alert. They're designed to be fast problems if you know what's going on. Use power rule, chain rule for that problem. Okay, we will talk about it, we won't do it. It was there in yesterday's homework. Just have a look at 17, please. So it's a simple area problem. So it says between the curve y equals that guy and the line y equals 4. So nobody speaks. How do we always set up area problems? What are the only components I need? I need the bounds. Read the question. How do I find the bounds? Nobody speaks. I'll pick on one of you. Mr. Ben-Sofia. Set them equal. Please understand that. Don't say we'll set that equal to 0. I think Mr. Fan in the AB class, this is an AB-BC overlap. He said, Rama, I set that equal to 0. And I said they give you y equals 4. So we're not finding the x-intercept. Please understand, if they give you only one function, then set it equal to 0. X-intercepts were usually above. Set them equal. So now we're starting to answer the question. So we have monkey to donkey, and then what am I writing as the integral? Nobody speaks. Mr. Banchan. What am I writing in the integral? So what am I writing? Yeah, if you want to.
Oh no, sorry.
Do we need to sketch every single time? We don't need to sketch it. Okay, you're taking way too long, Mr. Banchan. Miss Huan? We're going to take absolute value anyway, man. You're wasting your time trying to figure out which is top and which is bottom. Okay, Ms. Romero?
To find the bounds?
No, we found the bounds.
Okay.
What are we writing after that?
Integral negative 1 to 2, and then like that equal to negative x squared plus x plus 2.
Okay, you're correct. Where did you get that plus 2 from?
Because you have to set it equal to each other.
No, are you finding the bounds or are you finding the integral?
Because that's already together. So like, I don't know. It's pretty-
Oh, okay, go on.
You're just subtracting.
Yeah, you're just doing top minus bottom. That minus 4. That's the other function. Keep in mind, you're making a very simple problem very difficult. Like, okay, so I need to graph. We've done a lesson on this. You don't need to sketch functions every single time. It's simple area volume. If you do top minus bottom, take absolute value at the end, we're good to go. It's a 2-minute, 20-second problem. You're making like a 20-minute problem. Like, oh, do I need to sketch it? Which was top? Who cares? It's just top minus bottom. The error that my AB kids were making is integrate that. No, that's another value. It's y equals 4. That's a function. So, Ms. Romero, just to be clear, you got the 2 because you just subtracted 6 and the 4.
Yeah. I
That's
know.
how you got the 2. Alright? Oh, by the way, formula review. Arcs had just been sine inverse. What's the derivative of sine inverse? Nobody speaks. I'll pick on one of you. What is the derivative of sine inverse monkey? Make sure you use chain rule because it's 2x. What's the derivative of sine inverse monkey? Mr. Torres.
1 over square root of 1 minus 4x squared times 2.
Okay, he's answering the question. Yeah, you answered way more than what I needed. Thank you though. So it's 1 over radical 1 minus. Guys, not 1 plus. Okay, the tan inverse has 1 plus but no radicals in it. Okay, study your formulas. Thank you, Mr. Torres. Oh, kids had trouble with related rates. So let me, here, if I remember, I have 2 related rates from today's test. Let's do this together. Again, you don't do the homework, you don't get exposure to problems that will occur over and over again. And you're reduced to just copying Ms. Barzu. Okay, let's go over this quickly. So, this is from chapter 3 of the school year. I want you to read that sentence and write something down in notation. Guys, old rules. Don't keep reading that word problem 5 times. This is not AB stats. It was a gag, right? It was a gag. Like, yeah, those word problems, I just write it over and over again. No. Read that and write something down immediately. You're not even reading the problem twice. It says the radius of a sphere is increasing at a rate of 0.3 inches per second. Give me notation. Keep in mind it's a related rates problem. Ms. Mendoza, what am I writing? Very good. dr over dt. It's a rate. Some kids in the other class were saying r dash. R dash is going to help you. It's not incorrect, but it's going to. So, related rates problems. dr over dt equals 0.3. Next step. It says at the instant when the surface area S becomes 100 pi. Write something down. At the instant when the surface area becomes 100 pi. Ms. Jung. There is no rate involved. It is not increasing, it is not decreasing. If you write S dash or ds over dt, you better have a reason for it. If you cannot justify it, then you're just kind of guessing. And the question then says, what is the rate of increase in cubic inches per second, that's as units, of the volume, V. So interpret that, like this is what I need. Ms. Nurul. Thank you. We need dV over dt. That's the question. Okay, see if this comes back. For all related rates problems, what do I need without which I can't do the problem? I need to be in a relationship. Do I not need to know the V relationship? So write down the relationship. So V equals 4 by 3. I'm showing you how to proceed. Like they're not difficult problems at all. Okay, see if this comes back. Once you're in a relationship, what do we immediately find? The derivative. Because I need dV over dt. Just take the derivative. Look down. So 4 by 3 pi. Guys, chain rule. This is related rates, it's chain rule. Mr. San Diego, what are you writing?
Times 3r squared times dr over dt.
Thank you. 3r squared dr over dt. Chain rule. R is a function of t. Okay, now let's observe what's given. Do we know dr over dt? What do we not know? Stop. There's a reason we don't know R. Is there some piece of information we have not used yet? S. Do they have an S relationship? What's S given to be? 4 pi r squared. They're not difficult problems. Can we back solve for R then? Kids with advanced skills, can we cross out the pi? So R squared equals, therefore R equals, plug it in, the answer should. So remember, there are simple derivative problems. Use the information given. So the strategy is, see if this comes back. First step, read the question, attach symbols to those numbers. Otherwise, you're reading it like 500 times. That's not helpful. You need to move on. Okay, these are all easy. These are all easy. These are all easy. Oh, let me do the first step of this to help Miss Dawn. Copy down tan xy. This is implicit differentiation. We did this a long time ago. So let's do the first step. So tan of xy equals x. We're taking derivatives. I'm giving you a thinking time. What's the derivative of tan monkey? Sec squared. Now careful. Now this is where it gets complicated. Times, smart put parentheses. Now I'm going to confuse you. This is the most common error that students make. Oh, derivative of that guy, derivative of x is 1, derivative of y is y dash. Equals derivative of x is 1. What's the error I made, Miss Hanson? Very smart. Can you give me a big hand, please? She correctly says, hey, product rule there, and implicit differentiation. So keep the x fixed, times, plus y times 1. Now some students said, I was okay here, but I did not know what to do next step. See if this comes back. You need to distribute and then isolate the y dash. Is that clear? That's the algebra. You distribute that and then isolate the y dash. Subtract this guy, and then divide. Okay, we need to move on. Oh, what's this? Lovely example. Can I use a log property? That's a clever problem. I say use a log rule first. I know some of you said, I don't know what log rule to use. Use the quotient rule. It becomes a one-step problem. Yeah, that's MVT. Oh, in general, everybody, look at the board please. For sequence and series, don't we usually have a summation? Don't get alarmed. Can we just look at the nth term? You should get the answer very, very quickly. Oh, let's translate the sentence into notation. Let's get some practice on this. So it says the velocity of an object is given by v of t. Okay, so write that down. So v of t equals 2t minus 4. It says at t equal to 0, its position is 4. Write something down on your paper. What are you writing, Ms. Baba? And then the final question says, what is the position of the particle at time t? So what do I need? S of t. So what am I writing, Mr. Ben Sufyan?
S of 0 plus integral 0 to 4 or 0 to t.
0 t. 0 to t. S dash. And S dash is v. And we're good to go. Alright. Now I'm letting you know how Miss Marzouk solved this 2 days ago. Because I have a good memory. Everybody, put your pencils down so you can see. This is not incorrect. This is not incorrect. This is what she did. Because this is how we used to do it in the past, a long time ago. So I need the position function. Is that S of t? Look down please, because smart kids will say, oh, I have multiple ways to do the problem. If I give you v of t, what operation will give you s? The integral. But if you integrate, what should you not forget to write? Plus c. Can you do that and find c? And I'll give you the answer also. How many of you remember that vaguely doing? So we used to do it, but till we discovered, hey, net change corollary is faster, it'll give you the answer. She said, oh, that is an extra step. I should have just done net change corollary. These are all straightforward. Oh, this problem is virtually identical to the other problem related ways. Okay, now we're on today's lesson. Okay, now we're on today's lesson. So day 127, formally. Draw a line, so there's formally day 127. Okay, let's have a look at that problem. In your notebook, just write down that information, that function. You don't need to write the entire sentence. So it's question 8. So it says, given limit x approaching 2, f of x minus f of 2, all over x minus 2 equals 0. The question then says, which of the following must be true? If that is true, which of the following must be true? I'm kind of guiding you. What can I do next step here? Plug it in. If you plug it in, what do you get? So what should I do next step? Do it and tell me what you get 2 steps down. Look down. By the way, what should you not forget to write? Limit. You forget to write that, it's going to kill you 2 steps down. No, it's absurdly simple. Like, you'll have trouble believing, like, is that it? You'll like second guess yourself. Okay. What am I writing next step? F dash of x. And then what do I do last step? So what do I get? Okay. We just made a mistake. It's very similar to the U subs problem from yesterday's homework. What is the small error I made? Louder? I love this girl. Can you give her a big hand, please? She says, what about that right hand side? That doesn't vanish into the ether. F dash of t equal to 0. That's an important idea. It's like this problem we did earlier. Remember, like 1 minus c? We forgot to bring down the 5. And Mr. Buncher was like, what is going on? Oh, it's that 5 and the answer is just 5 then. There's a right hand side. Because look at the board. Usually when you do this problem, do we not usually only have a left hand side? It's an equation. So we know that to be true. Okay, now put your pencils down. Now it's just a discussion problem. Tell me a couple of things if you know this is true. Tell me a couple of things. I'm not asking a profound question. If I know f dash of 2 is 0, she says it could be a max or a min. Fair enough. Tell me something else. What does this mean in simple language? Ignore the right hand side. What does this mean in simple language? The slope at is... Sometimes it's important to know what does it mean in simple language. Okay, now I'm going to walk the choices. One of them will automatically show up. The question says, which of the following must be true? The limit of f of x as x approaches 2 does not exist. Based on this, how do we know the limit exists? Nobody speaks. Is there in the Bible, by the way? Like chapter 2, chapter 3. I know the derivative is 0. So the question then says the limit does not exist. And I'm letting you know it's false. I'm letting you know the limit exists. The question is why? Ms. Marzu? She remembers her concepts. If I can... Guys, what's the progress? What's the evolution of the concept? If I can take the derivative, the function must be continuous. If the function is continuous, I should have been able to do it, to take the... So please understand this. There's a sentence in the Bible that says clearly this. If the function is differentiable at a point, write it down if you need to. If a function is differentiable, it must be continuous. If it's continuous, the limit should exist. That choice is limit does not exist. That's a very profound idea. It's captured a couple of sentences of the Bible. If it's differentiable, it must be continuous. Therefore, the limit should exist. Okay. Y is B, then automatically false. Thank you. Ms. Eunice smartly says it is continuous. That says it's not defined. Like, what are you doing? Okay. Why is C true? Oh, by the way, C is the answer. Why is C true? Isn't that this guy? Do you understand why I said, tell me something else? Translate this. There's a reason I'm prompting you how to think. Like, what is that in simple language? She correctly said, okay, if that is 0, it's maybe a max or a min. I said, no, that's all very fine. What does that mean in simple language? Well, the slope at 2 is 0. That's what C is. But we want to be intellectually nimble. Let's see why the others are false. Nobody speaks. The whole class in period 3 broke into smiles when they discovered why D was false. Nobody speaks. Why is D false? Raise your hand when you figure it out. They said, oh my God, I need to read the question carefully. You laugh when I tell you the reason. Read the question carefully. It says f is continuous at x equals 0. Why is that false? Okay, let's see. I'll underline a section. Let's see if a light bulb goes up with some kids. This is actually... For those who didn't get it, do I know what's going on at x equals 0? For those who don't get it, we are talking about 2. How many got the hang of this? How do I know what's going on at 0? But because when you're reading this, in your mind, you're just thinking of continuity at that state, right? You forget that you're talking about x equals 0. I don't know what's going on at x equals 0. And then, why is E false? No, why is E false? No, I know, but why is E false? The fact that f dash of 2 is 0 does not contradict f of 2 is 0. How do I know if f of 2 is going to be 0? Yeah? Because f of 2 is 0 means it's an x-intercept. How do I know that's true? Look at me. Could not the function be like this? And f dash of 2 is 0? It could be like this. F dash of 2 is 0. How do I know it's going to be on the axis and f dash of 2 is 0? How many of you did that? That says 2 is an x-intercept. I don't know about that. I just know f dash is 0. I don't know if f of 2 is 0. Okay, let's do another question. Oh, this. Oh my god. Right. Copy down the sentence, please. This is like an AP 5 question. It was like super logical. Like, oh, I see what's going on. Like Soto, Macharia, they figured it out very quickly, saying, oh, I can see the logic of this problem. So the question says, if a function is continuous, then it's differentiable. Stop. Which is the sentence I just called out 2 minutes ago? If it's differentiable, it should be continuous and therefore the limit exists. Can you see they have this backwards? That is the most common error kids make. And they're saying, if it is continuous, it is differentiable, is actually a false statement. And they say, which of the following proves it? Okay? Kids think if it is continuous, it should be differentiable. No. Look at me. Can you not have a sharp corner? Just because it's continuous, need not be differentiable. And they're saying, which of these functions proves that? Okay? Have a look at A, please. We have to work the choices. This is not a short, easy question. We have to work the choices. So let me show you A. Let's work out A. A says f equals x to the power of negative 4/3. Either do mental math or do some algebra. Why is A an immediate false statement? As in, it's not applicable. I don't even need to look at it. A is not a choice I need to even look at. Because read the sentence. If f of x is continuous at 0, then it is differentiable at 0. So what should I check for first? If f of x is f of x continuous at 0? It's not a profound question. Does f of x exist at 0? Okay, or does not is at no. You're correct. Why does it not exist at 0?
Because it's a negative x.
Thank you. He understands how algebra works. Isn't that actually 1 over x to the power of 4/3? Doesn't even exist at 0. So observe what I'm going to do. So I'm going to cross it out from consideration. Because the premise of the question is, if it is continuous, and I'm saying, oh, it's not even continuous then. I hope you understand the logic of the problem. If you understood what Mr. Oda said, should we look at B? Is B continuous? No. So we don't even need to look at it. Because the question clearly says, if it is continuous, then... So make a note, it's not even continuous. It's not even continuous. Okay, since I want to change this up a little bit, let's go to E, please. Let's go to E. E says f equals x cubed. Is that continuous at 0? Yeah. So now read the question. What else do I need to do? Take the derivative. What's the derivative? 3x squared. Okay, now read the sentence and say, does that prove that guy is false or not? It says, if f is continuous at 0, then f dash will be differentiable at 0 is false. So does that work or not? I want to see your understanding of logic. So does that work or not? Yes or no? It does not work. Because we are supposed to show the fact that it's differentiable is false. I'm only showing it actually true. If f is continuous, then it should be differentiable. I hope you understand the logic. So that's not right. Do D by yourselves. Again, our goal is to prove that if it is continuous, it should not be differentiable. That's our goal. But this proves that it's continuous, it is differentiable. We don't have a problem there. Try D by yourselves. By the way, first of all, is it continuous? Yes. Do the math. Is it differentiable? Differential just means the slope exists. Does the slope exist? Yes. Why? What is the slope at 0? It is 0. Okay, now work out C. Work out C. By the way, C is the answer. Work the answer. Okay, Psycho C already did the mental math and said, okay, I totally get it. Okay, work out C, find the derivative. Those of you who found the derivative, what was the derivative of C? 1/3. X.
-2.
And what's your friend? Ah, so is it differentiable at 0? No, we're dividing by 0. Let's say, now read the sentence again to say, I see what the logic is. And the question says, if it is continuous, it must be differentiable to 0. No, that's a counterexample. Is false, yeah. That satisfies the statement. Okay. Oh my god, 23. Alright. Kids got extra credit in the other class for 23. Copy on 23, please. Okay, I'm offering extra credit if you figure out that problem. In the other class, Mr. Jin, in AB, Jin figured it out. Relax, I'll guide you though. What do we always do first step for a limit problem? Do it and observe what happens. What do we get? You're correct. Tell the class why you get 0 is 0. Thank you. He says, Ms. Mendoza, if you plug in 0, will that collapse to 0? It's 1 to 1, which is 0 over 0. Okay, so we got 0, 0. So what should I do next step? Do it, and somebody will break into smiles. Oh my god, that's a clever problem. So you're applying L'Hopital's rule for the numerator and denominator. Do it carefully. Raise your hand when you figure it out so I can give you extra credit. You got it? Clever concept. Clever concept. Do you want to work the problem? The rest of you... Again, finish the problem. Finish the problem. Do it carefully. You're making an algebra mistake. Yes, he got it. No. So what should you do? No, you're making an algebra mistake. You're not applying it properly. No. You guys are making... Well, silly boy, what's the derivative of h?
1.
What are you doing? What the hell? Yeah, then otherwise you will get the right answer. That is the right answer. It's a lovely problem. Yes, Babar got it. Okay, Basil got it. Okay, Psycho got it. Yeah, you got it. Okay, what's this, please? Guys, should I take the derivative of the top? Everybody, is everybody okay? Should I take the derivative of the top? So I'm finding the derivative of an integral. So which theorem, which concept is in? FTC2. And some of you are having trouble applying FTC2. Here's what FTC2 is. Write this down, please. So I plug in, look at the board, I plug in the upper limit, radical, I plug in the upper limit, so what am I plugging in? 1 plus h to the power of plus 8 times 1. The derivative of 1 plus h is 1. Minus, if I plug in the lower limit, is it 0? You see, the lower limit is 0. All over, what's the derivative of h? 1. This silly boy is writing 0. Okay, now what do we do last step? What have I forgotten to write? Limit. This is an important idea. Simplify, tell me your final answer. Okay, I don't want to give her this, but fine, I'll give it to her. Okay, because she raised her hand first. So I don't want to give her extra credit, but she said, oh, I got it. I can apply FTC2 correctly. But check if the final answer is 3. Now, I'm just genuinely curious. Some of you are getting like 3 radical, whatever. Where is that radical coming from? What math were you doing? I'm genuinely curious that you got the radical somewhere. Ms. Dong, how did you get the radical?
I accidentally...
What did you write that gave you the radical?
The limit, so 0.
No, so you got something radical. There was another student also who got a radical. What math were you doing? Oh, Javidi, how did you get the radical? Oh, you were not using FTC2. Okay, let's move on. Oh, let's do 25, please. Only copy it on the function. This guy. Now, this is not a tricky question. This is not a tricky question. The question says, we've done 100 of these problems. But if you think you've forgotten the concept, maybe study the Bible today. Sorry? What? What's blocking? Oh, yeah, that's not sound. I'm like, what is being blocked? All right. So the question says, for what value of t is the particle at rest? So what does that mean in simple language? Nobody speaks. I'm giving you thinking time. If the object is at rest, what must be true? Miss Ryan. Why? Sorry, say it again. Therefore, if it's not moving, what should we do? Therefore, what zero?
No.
I'm making you to make that connect. Ah.
Sorry,
And because velocity is x dash, therefore x dash of t. I wanted you to make those connections. So x dash of t should be 0, right? If it's at rest. Oh, thank you, by the way. So can we take derivatives? What concept am I using? Product rule. So t negative 2e negative 2t plus e negative 2t equal to 0. Now algebra. What's your friend? So rewrite it. Guys, that's an extremely powerful tip. Don't leave it alone. You're just staring and saying, oh my god, this looks crazy. Oftentimes rewriting helps you. What can I take out? Okay, careful. She wants to take out a negative. In the other class, nobody wanted to take out a negative. But if you want to take out a negative, watch your signs. I would prefer not to take out the negative. Just e negative 2t. What will come inside? Then negative 2t plus 1 equal to 0. So what's this? Now let me tell you the correct way to do the problem. Set that equal to 0, set that equal to 0. Solve the equation, tell me what you get. Okay, I just have one more problem to discuss. Ms. Romero, when you set this equal to 0, what do you get? Sorry? Thank you. It is no solution. Because if you do the math, aren't you doing ln of 0? Because negative 2t equals ln of 0 in an exponential form, go to log form. And then that answer was negative, just 1/2, right? That's your answer, 1/2 only. There were kids in the other class who were doing like magic math. Look at the board. They were choosing 0. But if you plug in 0, e to the power of 0 is 1. You're not doing the math. You're just guessing. Many kids, please, oh my god, I forgot to tell the other classes. I finally remembered. Guys, Asian folded hands. Please don't look at the choices. The choices are very seductive. Can you see what I told you? I was giving you directions. Solve that separately. And she said correctly, okay, it does not exist. But my point is this. If you did not solve it, you just quickly do it in my mind. You'll say, okay, 1/2. Oh, this is 0. And they'll say, oh, 0. And then, can you see how you get misled? I'm letting you know the AP. I'm letting you know. Do you know when the AP exam for 2019 was created? 2 years ago. It goes through field testing. It's called field testing. Colleges, it's administered to the colleges. They are administered specifically to community colleges. And they get the data and observe what are the most common errors students make. Those become the choices. I'm letting you know. Which is why I'm pleading with you, do not look at the choices. They're designed to be very distracting and seductive. Okay, last question of the day. Or do we have one more? Okay, we have this guy and that guy. Okay, let's do this guy. We discussed this 2 days ago. I'm pretending to be a good teacher. Do not look at the choices, except for questions where you have to work the choices. For AB, because they're like babies, for AB, every question it says, don't look at the choices, don't look at the choices. Well, they're like my babies. And it's their first multiple choice test. I wanted them to do well. So for next to every question, say, don't look at the choices. Don't look at the choices. They're distracting. Okay. Now let me mislead you. That's sin x to the power of x. Please observe, I'm misleading you. Therefore, power rule x sin x to the power of x minus 1 times the derivative of sin x, which is cos x. Oh, that's So who remembers, if you have a function as a power, what do you do first step? Mr. Ordaz. Take ln's of both sides. That's the correct way to do the problem. Let's do this together. So ln y equals, if they don't have a function, make it a y of f of x, equals ln sine x to the power of x. Observe, I'm not skipping a step. Please don't skip steps. Next step, I'm going to use power rule of logs, and I'm going to bring the power in front. X dot sine x. Power of x. Now I'm going to take implicit differentiation. What's the derivative of ln y? 1 over y. What concept am I using on the right hand side? Product rule. Go on. Oh, I meant sine x. Sorry. X, I'm so sorry. Okay. X times 1 over sine x times cos x, chain rule, plus ln sine x times 1. Everybody okay there? Now remember my goal. My goal is to solve for y dash. What do I do last step? Multiply by y. Ooh, but what's y really? So look at the final answer. It's sine x to the power of x times. Can I clean that up? So x cos x over sine x plus ln sine x. Now stop. Okay. You need to recall your trig identities. Is there in the first page of the Bible? Who, if anybody recalls, I think I discussed this 2 days ago. What's cos x over sine x, Ms. Baba? Cotangent, cos. So, in case you've forgotten, again, I did this review 2 days ago. Sine over cos is tan. Okay, S goes before with T. And then cos over sine, it's an important idea, is cos. C goes with C. Because what? That's what they have. They don't have our expression at all. Okay, last question of the day. I think maybe 30 seconds. Okay, this one. We'll only do the first step. Copy down 28 is a badass problem. Okay, copy down 28, please. We're almost done. Okay, copy down 28. Quickly.
I'm sorry.
Come in quickly. Alright. Nobody speaks. Oh, by the way, what does that word mean? Okay, don't shut down. Use symbols. Interval of e to the power of x plus ex dx. Now, I'm letting you know, the way it's written, I cannot integrate. Which insanely smart fellow will tell me, oh, do this, and then we can easily integrate. Nobody speaks. And give me a thinking time. Otherwise, you'll just keep staring at it. We can use a property which we discussed during differential equation separation of variables, and then it's easy to integrate. Ms. Baba. Split it up. Okay, Baba, careful. How would we split it up?
E to the power of x times.
Very smart. Times. If it's plus there, it becomes times. E to the power of ex, correct? Do you see that? Now, by the way, we're using u sub. So u equals ex, this guy, the complicated guy. Therefore, du equals. Can we finish the problem? Okay, I lied when I said that's the last problem because there's one question like this and I forgot to do it for your class. Oh, this. We're just doing the first step. Guys, I have 2 more problems to do, only the first step. Trust me, they're not in your today's test. Trust me, it'll benefit you. Copy down the first, not copy down. Read the first sentence, translate that into notation. Read the first sentence only, translate that into notation. Like what will you write down on a sheet of paper? It says, I'll help you. At point xy on a certain curve, the slope is 3x square y. What will you write down on your sheet of paper? Ms. Romero? I love this girl. This is not incorrect, but it'll kind of confuse you. If you do this, f dash of x equals 3x square y is not incorrect, but it's not kind of helping you. She correctly says dy over dx. Because what might I have to do next step? Separate the variables. Can you see? Therefore, the next step becomes dy over y equals 3x squared dx. Can we now integrate both sides? Okay, last problem of the day. I'm letting you know that this question is on your test. So I'm virtually giving the test away. So it's a cross-section problem. Let's get practice on a cross-section problem. Okay. It's a volume problem. By the way, what's the function given? Is that an easy function? Therefore, we should sketch it. That's E negative x. It says bounded by the coordinate axis. Look at me. Bounded by the coordinate axis and the line x equals 3. Okay, x equals 3. Everybody okay then? If all planes cross sections perpendicular to the x-axis, good news, this is cross sections perpendicular to the x-axis, are, they made it even easier, they're squares. So V equals, is there anything I'm writing outside? Okay, what's your lower limit? Upper limit? Now careful. For cross-section problems, I just need that dimension, guys. It's either top minus bottom or right minus left. So what's my dimension? Minus 0 or f minus 0. E negative x square, correct? Dimension square, dx. Okay, in the other class, kids had trouble with this. It's been there in your homework. Marzi will nod. Yeah, he gave a hint. What's this? I'll give you 4 options. Choose wisely. Don't write. I'm giving you 4 options. Choose wisely. There were kids in the other class who did not know how that squares. Mr. Banchan? Thank you. I am 3 skills. When you raise to the power, you multiply. So it's actually negative 2x. Now it's an easy problem. Thank you. Get out of here. Okay, we're done. Oh, sorry. And we are... if you have any question on yesterday's homework, ask me please. The best way to be prepared is to have done yesterday's homework really well. And ask me any question. No, I got it. No, I have the question in my mind. No. The question said, how far do you travel? This is a distance problem. So you remember, for absolute distance problem, you have to take absolute value. You have to find the root. She was finding the root. Okay, it was a distance problem, not displacement. Because it said how far you travel. Ask me. What power? I'm just happy you did.
You actually didn't ask me.
Send me an email and get fixed. Small issue. Seriously, I thought you had a math problem.
Chef here.
Oh, thank you.
Are you going home? Yeah, I'm probably going to be in the library for a while.
Is 26 today? It's the one we just heard.
Huh?
You said 24.